Good evening, everyone. It is September 10th, 2023, and we have a messy week ahead, if you ask me. We have rollover week occurring this week. TradingView went ahead and rolled on Friday. Monday is the official roll date. Wednesday, CPI. Thursday, PPI. Friday, bunch of news before A period is done. So we have a lot of data coming out this week. Let's zoom out for a second. Let's see where we are trading at on the bigger picture. You can see we are above the first standard deviation of yearly VWAP. So we are overall in a decent environment. But what I want to note here is that, and let's try and get, there you go, it's about as clear as we can get here. Let's note that we've had no trade above the August open, and we have had no trade above the September open. The RTH looks worse than this. Maybe I can show it to you guys. There we go. Where are you, September? There it is. September open, right around here. No trade above there. So no trade above this month, this past month, or this month. And ignoring this early roll, no trade above last week's open either. So far, not really a ton of indicators for being bullish, to me at least. Now, that changes. If we break this 40, call it about 55-ish, if we break this, you're going to have trapped a lot of shorts who are gunning on breaking 4350-ish and trying to get into this 4300, 4200 sort of area, who are looking to get back into this breakout here from that April, May, June sort of trade. So if we break 55-ish, 65, 55, 65, 44, 45 to 65, this zone right here. If we break this, I'm going to be looking for us to get into that August open, the RTH being up here somewhere. I think it's 4,600 or something like that. I'd look for us to get into this number, break these highs, and start targeting this sort of 4730 area. Maybe this point, 4671, kind of the halfway point. So that's what I'd be looking for. So that's how I'm looking at this on a higher time frame. Let's get into this week itself. Now, again, I will be treating all of last week as having traded on the U contract. So this to me is irrelevant. This Friday session to me it was trading down here. TradingView just showing it up there. What I'm looking for is just like I mentioned over here. This is our breakout area below there. And yeah, we have a bit of a bullish tilt above about 44.70. Let me pull that up on another chart. Let me have my structure chart up beside me. 44.70, last week's point of control, last week's VWAP close, all around there. A bit above that is the monthly halfback, the monthly VWAP close, the weekly halfback, all that sort of stuff around there. So this sort of zone. Now, if we break down below there, I think you'll have bulls trying to salvage this thing once again around 47. They fail to salvage it. Instead, we break down, get into sort of not last week's low, but the week before here at 44.23. Break that, and I'd be looking for us to eventually get into this August low around 43.50 below there. And once again, we're talking about that contract gap at 4,300. So that's how I'm looking at it on a higher time frame. Now, some notes from last week, other than just the failure to trade over those opens. Last week was an inside week, and the majority of the week traded below last week's value area low. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all three sessions trading below last week's value area low. Pretty much the entire week traded inside, for the most part, the first standard deviations of the week prior's VWAP. So quite a tight range. So this week, quite sensible in line with the news. I'm looking for a larger range. I'm looking for, I don't know, 150 points or so, 150, 200 points. So given we're trading right around 4,500 right now, I don't know, maybe we're looking at 4,650 or down to about, help me out with the math here, 4,350, something like that. Even if that's just if it was 100 points from here, so 150 points. So I'm not looking for a 250 point range, but I am looking for some sort of range expansion. I'm looking for a bit of a directional week. I'm looking for us to either break above here and get some movement upwards, or we break here and we get a flush downwards. So that's how I'm looking at the ES. Let's go over to the NQ. Same thing, Thursday and Friday. This Friday session, I'm not counting as trading up here. Sure, at Globex onwards, we can call it trading up here. What I'm going to look for on the NQ is if we lose this sort of balance here, 480 to 440, again, let me pull up my structure chart. Kind of the first half of the year's high at 475, up to what I say, 480. Yeah, that's the high. 480 is that last or first half of the year's high. 442-ish, kind of the lows of this balance area here, where we're salvaging the bids on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday overnight. That's where I'm going to look for us to hold as the pivot up abovewards. If you start to break 570-ish, you'll be above last week's RTH high at 580s, the 95% monthly value area high at 610, the monthly open is 633. If you start to break pretty much above the monthly open is where I'm looking at, the RTH monthly open, 633. If you start to break that, you'll be in a scenario where this should start to break out. Let's zoom out once again. So what I'm looking at is something around here, this 630-ish number. If you break this, I think you start coming into this 880-ish. You possibly take out these highs as well. There's that tiny gap, by the way, going up to about, I can't remember what it was, 911 or 930, something like that, the RTH gap. You do have that there. So both tickers flirting with a high time frame breakout to the upside. To the downside, if we lose this balance, I'll be looking for us to get into this 270 to 360 area. I know it is ginormous. Weekly VWAP closed 365, 270-ish, just kind of an area where we kept getting bids. 273, bid there, offer there. This is a 2-hour chart. It's just a number where this thing could get salvaged. You break down there, I don't think these hold these temporary covers. What I really think is you get into that not last week's low, but the week before that, around 980 or so. I think that's where you get into. You break down below, and now you're flirting with this balance here. Help me out. Something like this. All right. So overall, I don't really have any reason to be bullish other than we're trading near the high time frame breakout. The S chart a little bit prettier. There's no real reason for me to be bullish other than okay, you break above here, and okay, now all of a sudden we're flirting with 4600-ish, maybe breaking this high here, 4635-ish, and getting into 4700 around there. But really, no trade above August open, no trade above the September open, no trade above last week's open. I've got no real reason to be bullish. So I'm going to let this thing tell me what it wants. If we're trading above the weekly open, if we start to break the September open, more importantly, all right, you can start leaning bullish. You can start looking for us to trade above that 45.50, get that breakout scenario. But in the meantime, I'm biased towards us breaking below 44.70s. The bull's unable to hold here, break down here, and get into this sort of area. So anyway, that's how I'm looking at it coming into the week. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Again, a ton of news this week. It is rollover. There's OPEX as well. It's going to be volatile, in my opinion. I'll be trading half size, maybe even third size. I'll be trading small. Anyway, have a great week. Trade safe.